My brother took my business plan, built a multi-million-dollar company, then sued me for $50,000 he claims he spent raising me when we were kids. He stole my idea and became a millionaire, then demanded I reimburse him for being my parent 20 years ago. My name is Marcus Thompson. I'm 32 years old. 3 years ago, I shared my business idea with my brother. My older brother Tyler, the person I trusted most in the world. I showed him everything, every detail, every feature, every plan. We talked about building it together. Partners, brothers. 6 months later, he launched it without me. Used my concept, my designs, my vision. Built a multi-million-dollar company off my idea. And when I confronted him, he told me I should be grateful he improved it. Then last year, he sued me. Not for stealing his idea, not for competition, not for anything rational. He sued me for $50,000. Money he claims I owe him for raising me after our parents died. I was 12 when they died. He was 18. He became my guardian, kept us out of foster care, worked to support us both. I've always been grateful, always told him he was my hero. But apparently, he was keeping receipts. And now that he's a millionaire from my stolen idea, he wants me to reimburse him for every dollar he spent on me 20 years ago. This is the story of how my brother stole my business, made millions, then demanded I pay him back for being my family. I was born in Houston, Texas. Tyler was 6 years older than me. Growing up, we were close. He was the big brother who protected me, taught me to ride a bike, helped with homework, let me tag along with his friends. Our parents were good people. Dad was a mechanic. Mom was a teacher. We weren't wealthy, but we were happy. When I was 12 and Tyler was 18, our parents were driving home from a wedding anniversary dinner. A drunk driver ran a red light, hit them head on. They both died instantly. Tyler had just graduated high school, was planning to go to college, had a full scholarship to University of Texas. I remember sitting in the hospital waiting room, social worker talking to us about foster care, about separating us. Tyler stood up. No, we're staying together. I'll take care of him. You're 18. You're barely an adult. You can't. I'm his brother. I'm his family. We're not separating. He fought for custody, gave up his scholarship, got a job at a construction company, worked 12-hour days. We moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment. Tyler took the couch so I could have the bedroom. Money was tight, really tight. Tyler worked constantly, came home exhausted, but he made sure I had what I needed. He cooked dinner, helped with homework, went to parent-teacher conferences. He was 18 years old, working full-time, playing parent to a grieving 12-year-old. I knew what he gave up for me. I saw it every day. His friends went to college. He worked construction. His friends partied and had fun. He packed my school lunches. His friends planned their futures. He sacrificed his so I could have one. I was grateful, so grateful. When I grow up, I'm going to take care of you, I told him once. Like you took care of me. He ruffled my hair. Just do well in school. Make something of yourself. That's all I need. Tyler worked his way up. Construction to project management to business development. By the time I graduated high school, he was doing well, making decent money. He helped me apply to colleges, helped me with financial aid, contributed what he could. I went to Texas State, studied computer science, got a degree, got a job at a tech startup in Austin. Tyler was proud. You did it. You made something of yourself. I moved to Austin, worked as a software developer, started making decent money. Tyler and I stayed close, called each other weekly, met up every few months. He never made me feel like I owed him anything, never threw his sacrifices in my face. He was just my brother, my best friend. 5 years ago, Tyler got married. Woman named Stephanie. She worked in marketing. Confident, ambitious, a little cold, but Tyler seemed happy. I was his best man. Gave a speech about how Tyler was the best brother anyone could ask for. How he gave up everything for me. Everyone cried. Tyler hugged me. You're my brother. I'd do it all again. I believed him. 3 years ago, I started working on an idea. I'd been working remotely for a couple years. Noticed how hard it was to manage projects across distributed teams. Too many tools. Too many platforms. Everything disconnected. My team used Slack for communication, Asana for project management, Harvest for time tracking, Dropbox for file sharing, Google Docs for collaboration. Switching between 6 different tools every day, losing information in the cracks, wasting time. I thought, there has to be a better way. I wanted to build something better, an all-in-one platform for remote teams. Project management, communication, time tracking, file sharing. Everything integrated. One login, one interface, everything connected. I spent nights and weekends working on it, researching, designing, building prototypes. I interviewed remote workers, asked about their pain points, what frustrated them, what they needed. I studied the competition, saw where they fell short, where the gaps were. I designed the user interface. Clean, intuitive, simple enough for non-technical users, but powerful enough for complex projects. I built the core architecture. Scalable, secure, fast. I spent 3 months just on the project management module, making sure it could handle everything from simple to-do lists to complex software development cycles. Another 3 months on the communication system, real-time messaging, video calls, screen sharing, threaded conversations. I was obsessed. This was it. This was the thing that could change my life. I was excited, really excited. This could be something big. I called Tyler. He was working in business development now, knew about startups and scaling companies. I want to run something by you, I said. We met for lunch. I showed him everything. My wireframes, my feature list, my market research, my business plan. This is incredible, Tyler said. This could be huge. You think so? Absolutely. Remote work is exploding. Companies need better tools. You're solving a real problem. I was thinking, maybe we could do this together. You know business. I know tech. We could be partners. Tyler hesitated. I don't know, Marcus. I'm pretty committed to my current company, and Stephanie and I are trying to start a family. The timing isn't great. Okay, no pressure, but if you change your mind. Definitely. And hey, I can still help. Bounce ideas off me. I'll give you feedback. That would be amazing. Over the next 6 months, Tyler and I talked constantly about the app. I'd show him new features. He'd give suggestions. I'd share my pitch deck. He'd help refine it. I'd discuss my go-to-market strategy. He'd offer advice. I trusted him completely. He was my brother, my mentor, the person who raised me. I showed him everything. The code architecture, the user interface designs, the pricing model, the target market. Every single detail. This is really coming together, Tyler said one day. You should start looking for investors. I'm nervous about that part. I'm a developer, not a salesman. You'll figure it out. You're smart. You've got this. I spent the next few months polishing everything, getting ready to launch. Then one day, I was scrolling through LinkedIn. Saw a post from a venture capital firm. Excited to announce our investment in CollabSpace, the revolutionary all-in-one platform for remote teams. My heart stopped. CollabSpace. I clicked the link. The website loaded, and my stomach dropped. It was my app, my exact concept. Project management, communication, time tracking, file sharing, all integrated. The features were identical. The UI was almost the same. Even the marketing language was similar. And the founder? Tyler Thompson. My brother. I stared at the screen. Couldn't breathe. He'd taken my idea, everything I'd shown him, everything I'd worked on, and launched it as his own. I called him immediately. Marcus, hey, I was going to call you. What is this? CollabSpace? That's my app. It's similar to your concept, yeah, but I made a lot of improvements. Refined the features. Made it more marketable. You stole my idea. I didn't steal anything. You talked about an idea. I executed on it. There's a difference. I showed you everything. My designs. My business plan. We talked about being partners. And I told you I was too busy. You took too long, Marcus. Someone was going to build this. I just got there first. With my idea, ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. And honestly, you weren't capable of executing this. You're a good developer, but you don't know business. You don't know how to raise capital or scale a company. I do. So you just took it? Used everything I created. I improved it, made it better. You should be thanking me. Now there's a product in the market that proves your concept works. You betrayed me. I saw an opportunity. That's business, Marcus. Don't be naive. He hung up. I sat in my apartment, shaking. My brother, the person who raised me, who I trusted more than anyone, had stolen my life's work. Over the next few weeks, I watched CollabSpace explode. Tech blogs covered it. Innovative platform revolutionizes remote work. Tyler did interviews, podcasts, conference talks, talked about his vision for the future of work. Never mentioned me. Never acknowledged where the idea came from. Meanwhile, my own development stalled. I couldn't launch now. Tyler's company had first-mover advantage, venture capital backing, a head start. Everything I'd worked on for 3 years was worthless. I talked to a lawyer, intellectual property attorney. Do you have any patents? Trademarks? Copyrights? No, I didn't think I needed them. He's my brother. Did you have any written agreements? Contracts? Emails where he acknowledged it was your idea? Just text messages. Conversations. The lawyer reviewed everything. It's a tough case. Ideas aren't protected. Execution is. And he'll argue he developed it independently, even if he used your concept as inspiration. But he stole it. Morally? Maybe. Legally? Hard to prove. And litigation would cost you hundreds of thousands. He has venture capital funding. Deep pockets. He could drag this out for years. I couldn't afford to sue. Couldn't afford to fight. I had to let it go. I tried to move on. Started working on different projects. Tried to rebuild. But the betrayal ate at me. Tyler was my hero. The person who sacrificed everything for me. And he'd stab me in the back without hesitation. Family gatherings became awkward. Our extended family knew something was wrong, but didn't know the details. Tyler played it off. Marcus and I had a business disagreement. It happens. A disagreement. Like we'd argued about logistics. Not like he'd stolen my life's work. I stopped going to family events. Couldn't face him. Tyler's company continued to grow. 6 months after launch, they hit $1 million in revenue. A year later, $5 million. 2 years later, $8 million. Tyler bought a house in Westlake, luxury neighborhood in Austin, $3 million. Bought a Tesla, a vacation home in Colorado. Posted about it on social media, living the dream. All from my idea. And I was still renting a 1-bedroom apartment, working a regular developer job, watching my brother get rich off my stolen concept. Then, 2 months ago, I got served with a lawsuit. Tyler Thompson versus Marcus Thompson. I opened it, confused. Was he suing me for something related to CollabSpace? For defamation? No. He was suing me for $50,000. For expenses incurred while serving as guardian and primary caregiver. I read the complaint, disbelief washing over me. Tyler had itemized everything. Every dollar he spent on me from age 12 to 18. Rent, $18,000 over 6 years. Food, $12,000. Clothing, $4,000. School supplies and activities, $3,000. Medical expenses, $2,000. Utilities, $6,000. Miscellaneous expenses, $5,000. Total, $50,000. The complaint claimed that Tyler had provided financial support with the expectation of repayment once Marcus was financially stable. That he'd put his life on hold and deserves compensation for his sacrifices. That I was now financially capable of repaying this debt. I couldn't believe it. My brother, who'd raised me, who I'd always thanked, always told he was my hero, was demanding I pay him back for being my guardian. And he was doing it after making millions off my stolen business idea. I called him, furious. What is this? You're suing me for raising me. It's not about raising you. It's about debts owed. I supported you financially for 6 years. You owe me. You're a millionaire. You stole my business idea and made $8 million. I didn't steal anything. We've been over this. And my financial success doesn't erase your debt to me. You told me you'd do it all again. You said you didn't want anything from me. I was being nice. But the truth is, Marcus, I gave up everything for you. My scholarship, my youth, my opportunities, and you've never paid me back. Paid you back? For being my brother? For keeping us together? For being your parent? For sacrificing my life? Yes. This is insane. You can't charge me for being my guardian. Actually, I can. I have receipts, documentation, proof of every expense. Legally, it's a debt. No court will side with you on this. We'll see. My lawyer seems pretty confident. Why are you doing this? You're rich. You don't need my money. It's not about need. It's about what's fair. I'm tired of you acting like I owe you something. Like I'm the bad guy. I raised you. I gave up everything. And all you do is complain that I was more successful than you. You stole my idea. I executed on an idea. You just had dreams. There's a difference. And frankly, Marcus, you've always been entitled. Always thought the world owed you something because our parents died. Well, guess what? I lost them too. And I stepped up. You just coasted on my sacrifices. I can't believe you're saying this. Believe it, and pay what you owe, or see you in court. He hung up. I sat there, stunned. This wasn't my brother. This was a stranger. I hired a lawyer. Cost me $5,000 just for the retainer. His name was Robert Chun, mid-40s, experienced in family law, sharp eyes, skeptical expression. This is a ridiculous case, Robert said, reading through Tyler's complaint. Siblings don't charge each other for being raised. Guardianship isn't a loan. Can we get it dismissed? We'll try. But he has documentation. And legally, there's an argument that if he can prove there was an expectation of repayment, it could be considered a debt. There was no expectation. He was my brother. He was being my family. I believe you. But he has expensive lawyers. And they're going to twist everything. Robert was right. Tyler's legal team was aggressive. Corporate lawyers. The kind who defend Fortune 500 companies. They filed motion after motion. Demanded documents. Depositions. Financial records. They wanted to prove I could afford to pay. That I was refusing out of spite, not inability. I had to provide tax returns, bank statements, proof of employment, proof of assets. They combed through everything, looking for ammunition. Meanwhile, they built Tyler's case. They found old letters I'd written as a teenager. Thank you notes, birthday cards. Thanks for everything you do for me. I'll pay you back someday. Teenage Marcus, being grateful, expressing love. They twisted it into legal evidence of debt acknowledgement. The case moved forward. Tyler's lawyers argued that he'd provided financial support beyond what was required, and that there was an implicit understanding I would repay him. They brought up conversations we'd had. Times I'd said, I'll take care of you someday, or I'll pay you back. They twisted my words of gratitude into admissions of debt. My lawyer argued that guardianship is a familial obligation, not a financial transaction. That Tyler chose to take me in. That there was no contract, no agreement, no expectation of repayment. That this was a clear case of a wealthy sibling extorting a less successful one. The case became public. Local news picked it up. Tech entrepreneur sues younger brother for childhood expenses. People were horrified. The comments online were brutal. He stole his brother's idea, made millions, and now wants him to pay for being raised? What a monster. This is what happens when people get rich. They forget where they came from. But Tyler had supporters too. He gave up his scholarship for his brother. He deserves compensation. Family or not, if he spent $50,000, that's a debt. Our extended family split. Tyler's wife Stephanie posted on Facebook. Long post about how Tyler had sacrificed his youth and deserves recognition. How I was ungrateful and entitled. My aunts and uncles took sides. Some supported Tyler. Some supported me. Family group chats turned into war zones. Thanksgiving was coming up. Our Aunt Lisa, who usually hosted, sent a message. I don't think we should have Thanksgiving this year. The family is too divided. Christmas was canceled too. Tyler had destroyed our family over $50,000. Meanwhile, he was worth $8 million. The hearing was scheduled for January. My lawyer prepped me. This is going to be ugly. He's going to paint you as ungrateful and entitled. You need to stay calm. I testified, talked about how Tyler raised me, how grateful I was, how I always thanked him. How I never knew he was keeping receipts. Never knew he expected payment. Tyler's lawyer questioned me. Didn't you say you'd take care of him someday? I meant emotionally. As family, not financially. But you acknowledge he spent significant money on you? Yes, but. And you acknowledge you're now employed and financially stable? Yes, but. And you've never paid him back? I didn't know I was supposed to. Tyler testified next. He was calm, collected, played the victim perfectly. I love my brother. I always will. But I gave up my entire life for him. My scholarship, my youth, my opportunities. I worked myself to the bone to keep us together. And now he acts like I'm the villain because I expect some recognition, some repayment. I'm not asking for emotional gratitude. I'm asking for what I'm owed. Do you regret raising your brother? His lawyer asked. No, never. But I do regret not setting clear expectations. I assumed Marcus would want to make things right once he was able. I was wrong. It was a masterclass in manipulation. The judge asked Tyler directly, Mr. Thompson, you're a successful entrepreneur. Your company is worth millions. Why do you need $50,000 from your brother? It's not about need, Your Honor. It's about principle. It's about acknowledging the debt. If I let this go, I'm saying that my sacrifices didn't matter, that what I gave up was worthless. And what do you say to the argument that guardianship is a family obligation, not a financial transaction? I say that I went above and beyond basic guardianship. I provided a stable home, quality food, educational opportunities. I could have done the bare minimum. I chose to do more. That deserves recognition. The judge took the case under advisement. 2 weeks later, the ruling came. The judge dismissed the case. While the court acknowledges Mr. Tyler Thompson's sacrifices, guardianship of a sibling is a familial obligation undertaken voluntarily. There is no evidence of a contractual agreement or explicit expectation of repayment. Conversations expressing gratitude do not constitute a binding debt. Furthermore, the court finds it troubling that the plaintiff, who is financially successful, is pursuing this claim against a defendant who is comparatively less financially secure. This appears to be an attempt to leverage familial obligation into financial gain. The case is dismissed. I won. But it didn't feel like winning. Tyler was furious, posted on social media about ungrateful siblings and judicial bias. Stephanie posted a long rant about how I was a leech who used Tyler and never appreciated anything. I blocked them both. Our family was destroyed. Aunts and uncles who'd supported Tyler stopped talking to me. Those who'd supported me stopped talking to Tyler. Holidays were split. Some family members went to Tyler's house. Some came to mine. It was like a divorce. I found out later, through a cousin, what had really triggered the lawsuit. Tyler's company was in trouble. They'd grown too fast, made some bad investments, were bleeding money. He wasn't broke, but he wasn't worth $8 million anymore. Maybe $2 or $3 million. And a lot of it was tied up in assets. He needed cash, and he decided to get it from me. The brother whose idea he'd stolen. The brother who'd always been grateful. The brother who couldn't fight back. 6 months have passed since the case was dismissed. Tyler and I haven't spoken. Not once. I heard through family that he and Stephanie are getting divorced. Apparently, the money problems caused issues. Turns out Stephanie was more interested in Tyler's money than Tyler himself. When the millions started drying up, so did her interest in the marriage. CollabSpace is still operating, but struggling. Competition caught up. They're not the hot startup anymore. 2 competitors launched similar products. Both better funded, better marketed. CollabSpace is fighting for survival now. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel some satisfaction watching Tyler's empire crumble. Not because I'm vindictive, but because there's justice in it. He built his success on stolen ground, and stolen ground doesn't last. I'm doing okay. Still working as a developer. Got a promotion actually. Senior developer at a good company. Making decent money. Started therapy to process everything. My therapist asks me questions I'd never asked myself. What did Tyler represent to you? Safety. Family. The person who saved me. And what does losing him mean? Losing my childhood. My history. The belief that someone would always protect me. Are you mourning Tyler? Or mourning who you thought he was? That one hit hard. Because Tyler, the hero who raised me, might have never existed. Maybe he was always keeping score, always resentful, always waiting for payback. Or maybe he changed. Maybe success corrupted him, made him forget where he came from. I'll never know, and I'm learning to be okay with that. My therapist says I'm grieving, not just the loss of my brother, but the loss of who I thought he was. The hero who raised me, who sacrificed everything. That person never existed. Or maybe he did, but he changed. Money changed him. Success changed him. Or maybe he was always this person, and I just didn't see it. People ask if I'll ever reconcile with Tyler. I don't think so. He stole my business idea, made millions, and when that wasn't enough, he tried to make me pay him back for being my brother, for keeping us together after our parents died, for doing what family is supposed to do. He turned love into debt, family into a transaction. And I can't forgive that. I've started working on new projects, new ideas. This time, I don't share them with anyone until they're protected, patented, copyrighted, legally mine. I learned that lesson the hard way. I'm also rebuilding relationships with family members who stood by me. My Aunt Lisa, my cousin Jake, a few others. We're creating our own holidays, our own traditions, without Tyler. It's smaller, but it's real. And that's worth more than any amount of money. Tyler got rich off my idea, built a company, made millions. But he lost his family, his integrity, his soul. I lost my brother, my hero, my childhood. But I kept my dignity. And I'm rebuilding my life, on my own terms, with my own ideas. Not looking over my shoulder, not wondering who's going to steal from me next. Tyler wanted me to pay him back for raising me, wanted $50,000 for being my guardian. But the truth is, I already paid. With my trust, my love, my business idea. I gave him everything, and he took it all. The debt is settled, and it's time to move forward. Without him. Last month, I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, it's Tyler. I know you blocked me. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. For everything. I was wrong. Can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. Part of me wanted to respond. Wanted to hear what he had to say. Wanted my brother back. But I know better now. Sorry doesn't undo the theft. Doesn't erase the lawsuit. Doesn't rebuild trust. Sorry is what you say when you've been caught. When you've lost. When you need something. I deleted the message. Blocked the number. Tyler had his chance. Thousands of chances. He chose money over family. Success over integrity. Greed over brotherhood. And now he has to live with that. I'm 32 years old. I lost my parents at 12. Lost my brother at 30. But I'm still here. Still standing. Still creating. Tyler stole my business idea. Made millions. Then tried to make me pay him back for raising me. But he couldn't steal my resilience. My determination. My worth. Those are mine. And they always will be. Have you ever had a family member steal from you? Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted completely? Have you ever been sued by a sibling? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes the people who claim to love you are the ones who hurt you most. If you believe that you can't steal someone's life work and then demand they pay you back for childhood sacrifices, hit that like button and subscribe. Because raising a sibling is a choice made out of love, not a loan to be repaid. And if you turn family into a transaction, you lose what makes it family in the first place. #BrotherBetrayedMe